Greetings, this is Chris, and welcome back to the great Birb Commonwealth in Stellaris. Thank you for the crescendo there, music. Last time we left off, we had expanded quite considerably, perhaps a little aggressively. I don't know how, for instance, the Mako Nas here are going to respond to my colony down here. And some of our empire is a little bit disconnected. But we did manage to secure an alliance with Norilga, and things are looking pretty good. Most of our alien friends are allies. I believe the only people we're not doing terribly well with are Inak, who are our rivals, and the Aramathi technocracy, who we've only just met, but they seem a little hostile. In fact, I think the flag suits them. There has been a patch since last I played, which means that some things may have changed, very subtly. I have no idea how this will affect my game. We'll have to find out. But let's get on with things, see how stuff goes. I think the aim for today is to connect up these worlds, which means we need border expansion, possibly some more frontier outposts if we can afford them. No we can't, because alliances cost a lot. So we're going to have to advance our technology considerably and improve some of our colonies. But there's plenty to be doing, so let's get on with it. Over in Semester, our science officer has successfully restored power to a ship construction facility, which has produced apparently 3 advanced raiders. Unfortunately, it's then broken. So that's interesting. What does that give us? Oh, interesting. That's our science ship. What exactly do we have here? Ooh, 3 raiders. R44 class. Each has a military power of approximately 38. Okay. What can you tell me about it? Ion thrusters, an aggressive combat computer, a warp drive, medium disruptor, small X-ray laser. Wow, okay, that's some stuff I've never even heard of. So that's pretty impressive. How does that compare with our current, say, destroyer? Our destroyer currently has a military value of... does it list it on this anywhere? No? Well, we don't have a computer. We have only level 1 thrusters. Did I not upgrade this ship? I guess I didn't. Oh, I'm looking at the destroyer, that's the problem. I want to look at the Corvette, of course. The Corvette has better stuff. So the Corvette here has a military power of... It doesn't tell me, does it? That's frustrating. I guess there's no way to find out from the ship designer. Okay, well we can quickly look at one of our other... We can actually find our fleet somewhere. That seems to be science ships and construction ships. Here's our fleet. So our fleet has many of these guys in. And each one is worth how much? Where is the fleet? Is it just hanging around up here? That's a research station. So our fleet of 1, 2, 3, 10 ships is 299. So each one's worth slightly less than 30, and these guys were worth slightly more than 30 each. Yeah, they're worth nearly 40 each. So that's definitely an improvement. Yeah, I guess if you hover over, it tells you the military power just there. That's cool. I don't know what to do with them. I'm tempted to have them escort the science ship, actually. Because the science ship is going to end up in some situations involving combat at some point, and it's quite useful to be able to deal with hostile ships. I don't know, though. I think... Nope. Just for now, we will have them guard the colony in Semester. That makes sense, I think. Since we have one here, they could go and orbit Semester and basically be a protective force. Very good. And once more, our beloved Isaki has been elected president. Will he or she ever not be president? Probably when they're dead. Additionally, there's been some events. We constructed last time a observation post in the red orb system, which was designed to observe these primitives here. They've built an early space station, so they're not that primitive. They're sort of at the same technology level as ourselves in real life, I suppose. But apparently, our infiltration cells have finally landed, but they're having difficulty establishing their identities. They've been exposed as aliens, and which has resulted in the immediate termination of all witnesses. Well, that's a bit heavy-handed, but okay, I understand. This has brought unwanted attention from Wessari authorities. This means that our project has been delayed. Oh, that's really frustrating, actually. How far is this project? Well, we've now got as far as 6% because of that delay. Thanks, useless operatives. Try harder next time, please. So a very odd thing just happened. I sent my science ships to the furthest reaches of space to complete the Void Cloud mission I'd been given a very long time ago. And then it promptly disappeared from my situation log with no resolution at all. It didn't do anything. It didn't bring a pop-up. If it gave me something, then I missed what it gave me. So that's very confusing. Now my science ships are in the middle of bloody nowhere, so that's not very helpful. In fact, I'm thinking about building a third one at this point. The only other mission I've got involving science ships to go to these stars, which are really too far away, so we're not going to be doing that for a while. This is frustrating, though, because what I just did was complete a colony ship who was going to go and try and colonize this lovely continental world. Unfortunately, I haven't surveyed this system, and the reason I didn't survey the system is because of these mining drones. Now, I don't know whether completing this mining drone related mission would actually help me do something to the mining drones, but right now they're getting in the way, so I think it's time to dispatch our fleet to deal with them, because I can't see any other way around this. I need to survey the system, and in order to survey the system I need to kill the ships that might attack my science ship, and certainly I need to clear the system if I'm going to colonize it. So here we go. We are now going to deal with whatever happens when we get close to these mining drones. Although, have they disappeared? They've disappeared. What the? No, they've appeared. That is here, right? No, that's somewhere miles away. Yeah, I'm sending my science ship on a bit of a roundabout route. It's going to try and explore some of this intermediate space. But that means that... not you. You. You have somehow chased off the mining drones? They've disappeared. Maybe someone else killed them. That's a possibility, of course. In which case, it should be okay to then survey the system and then colonize it. So what is this exactly? It appears to be the destroyed... Yes, it's the remains of what was the mining station just there. Okay, so that means we can now actually have you enter the orbit, and I need to get a science ship down here as soon as possible. You are currently surveying a system bloomin' miles away, which admittedly has a nice continental world on it, but still, I need you to get back and survey the system. These guys were very kindly negotiated passage through their space, otherwise we'd have to go all the way around them, and it only cost about 100 minerals, so that wasn't too bad. But I am thinking it's time for a third science ship, so let's see if we can afford that. I think we can. We're quite wealthy right now in terms of minerals anyway. Yeah, we can afford a new science ship. We'll have to hire a scientist, of course, but there we go. Oh, that's nice. I like you too, Narilga. You're very cool. Yeah, so the only problem I've got right now is that we're running low on credits, but that's probably because of the colony ship, so things are looking good. Okay, our plans to infiltrate the mammals in Red Orb system are going well. Apparently we now have thousands of covert operatives across all the major nations, and including some leading positions in government, which is pretty impressive given that I don't think even a year or so has passed, so wow. What does this mean for us? Nothing really, but that's good. It means that things are progressing. Soon they will join the space community as my protective wards, of course. I'll look after them. No problem, no problem. What kind of planet do they live on? I can't remember. An arid world. Well, I think there's some other arid worlds they might find themselves colonising in future. And we've reached phase 3 of our plan to infiltrate the Wessari. We've replaced most world leaders with our own disguised agents. That only took, apparently, a few months. Oh no, about a year maybe. Efforts are underway to deal with the last few stubborn holdouts. Soon... Oh damn, that slowed us down a bit. That's a shame. But soon we'll be complete. With any luck. Let's have a quick check at it. Well, 56%. Could be better, but oh well. We'll find out. We'll find out. It's been a while since I found an anomaly. Sure, you can research. You can always research. I think we may have found the technology to solve our irritating energy problem as well. We've been up and down a lot on this energy credits income, but it's never looked particularly good. We've never got to a very good positive score. So this place, the power hub, apparently produces power, but also increases the energy output of the entire planet by 10%. So if I can build these in some strategic places, such as my home planet, this should really help with that situation. The alternative, well, this I believe is only a ship component they're talking about, so that's not actually going to help us. Although maybe it's a requirement to get the ground-based ones. No, I think this is still probably the best thing to go for. So, since our new colony up here, now in the system of Warm Orb, finished, I reached this point where I had too many planets controlled again. So we've actually developed a new sector down here. It's a home sector. It's very, very close to my capital, but to be honest, Perch was the best candidate for planets that would be able to handle themselves. I still plan to colonise Dathana, which is why I've also included it in this sector, and I think in the long run I'll end up doing this whole border as a separate sector, basically. Slightly irritating, my allies here decided to go and build an outpost in the Mendoc system, which means they're going to take both of these systems full of lovely resources. But, complete. You know, in the long run I'm kind of hoping that they'll incorporate themselves. Once we grow to a certain size, if we're much, much larger than them, and they don't really have many places to expand into, they may be willing to become a vassal or something similar, we'll see. And our plan to annex or infiltrate and then convince to join our planetary empire has worked. The Ro-Esik planet, which I think was the Wessari? Yes. After achieving complete domination over the Wessari political leadership, our infiltration cells have successfully paved the way for the arrival of our first contact unit. In a lavish ceremony held at the new planetary capital, our diplomatic envoy graciously accepted a petition signed by every world leader on Ro-Esik, calling for the planet's immediate annexation to the great Birb Commonwealth. Jubilant citizens are crowding the streets, cheering their new alien benefactors. Hooray! We're the best! We're the best! Woo! So, well done, everybody. You have managed to get hold of that planet. Let's have a quick look at it. Ro-Esik has now been brought up to the same technological level as us. Unfortunately, it's a real shithole. Good God. Why are these people outraged? Why are you outraged? Explain yourself. You are collectivist. Well, that's a bit annoying. You're xenophobic. Oh, that's not good. I thought I'd be able to, like, guide their ethics. Oh dear. Militarist, arid preference, venerable, and agrarian. And they don't like me very much. Apparently recently conquered applied, which is a bit odd. Voting rights, primary species. Yeah, I can change some of this to try and help improve things. They don't like having alien overlords, though. Well, that's a bit problematic. Is there any ethics divergence? How come some of them aren't horribly unhappy? I don't know. Apparently they are still pretty unhappy. Where's their capital? Is this their capital? Primitive farms. I'm governing too many ships, too many planets again. And this place needs some serious work because, good God, look at all these things that are broken. Sinkholes, quicksand, mountain range. Okay, well you guys aren't the best, are you? You have an early space station which we now control as well. Is there anything we can do with that? Can we... It has no military power. Can we upgrade it? Is it costing us money? No, it doesn't really say much. Disband, ship details. Can't give it any orders. I guess it gives people somewhere to land? I don't know. This is probably not a good idea, as it turns out. I don't know how I'm going to control these people. Are they going to rebel? Well, I've got a security wing there. That's good. Security wing. That's quite funny. And we don't have a governor. Is there any way we can assign a sort of sensible governor? We're allowed one more leader. We have a cheap leader, we have an experienced leader, or we have a scientific leader. No, you guys are all useless. That's no good. What we want is like a sort of friendly diplomatic leader to make everyone a bit more happy. But I guess it's not going to happen. I don't know what to do with these guys. They produce a lot of food, but not a lot else. I could spend lots of money on a spaceport. That might help. Then we could get them colonising other planets, but frankly, they really don't like me. So I think for now, we're just going to leave them to it. And this brings us round to our sector issue again. We have a serious sector issue because we have too many planets. And although I gave Perch away, I mean, the way things stand, I don't want to give this system away. It's too important that I keep very close eye on the system and make sure it develops properly, because it's very close to a potential enemy. Although the Mako Nas seem to like us, so that probably isn't too much of a worry. The next obvious candidate are the planets up here, because Red Orb is doing quite well for itself. But then they'll be having to manage, they'll have to manage the Roasik here, and I'm not sure they can do that very effectively, to be honest. So that leaves White Orb. No, not White Orb. Not that planet. Anyway, can you actually take me to the planet I have a sort of colony on instead of the crap hole? Yeah, there we go. So White Orb is actually doing alright. It's a bit of a small planet, but it might be okay to manage itself. At least it got up to a planetary administration, so there's lots of potential here. Plus it produces a reasonable amount of output. I could also give them Semester, that I haven't colonised yet, and have a sort of intermediate sector. I don't know. Well, we have to pick one, and honestly I think that's our best pick, so we have to go to sector management. This means we're going to have 3 sectors as well, so we've reached our sort of maximum number of sectors, at least until we develop some sort of technology. So we may have to be reorganising things. Now, something irritating I've discovered is if we go to create a new sector and we want to add a planet, so we're going to add White Orb here, it costs you 25 influence to add it. And if I now say I'm going to give you guys Semester as well, watch my influence count up here. Doesn't seem to change. Oh, that's interesting. But if I turn it off, it does cost me. Yes, of course. So adding a planet costs you nothing, but removing one costs you 25. And at this point, I'm only just planning what planets to put into it. So I would really like it if it didn't cost me immediately the 25 influence just because I've accidentally, planned slightly badly. Just let me plan my system properly, and then once I've confirmed a new sector, then it's going to cost me to remove planets from the sector. Otherwise, it's kind of annoying. I really want to be able to plan it properly, Anyway, this airy sector here will have... Will it have Semester? It does give it a large amount of production. And it is colonizable. So yeah, we'll give them Semester. We'll give them Landis and Revac. Algol hasn't been developed at all yet, so we maybe add that later on. But for now, I think that'll do. So we only wasted 25 influence showing off that stupid, I don't know, bug, bad design, however you want to call it. So yeah. We will have to get to work on colonising both Semester and Algol, I think, so that this sector becomes a bit more industrial. We also need to assign a governor, of course. So currently we have 2 governors there. And the governor who was governing Aerie, the planet, is now available to govern the entire system. So there we go. Good stuff. They're making a reasonable profit, and I'm not doing too badly. So yes, I'm in positive energy credits for once. That's good. So back to the game. Let's... I mean, at this point, I'm still struggling to connect down here, and I don't really know how I'm going to achieve that at this stage. Maybe once I've colonised Semester, I can afford to remove the station at Unabin, and that means I can build a station out here somewhere. But these borders grow incredibly slowly,
complete.
And there's an enormous gap between planets here, so I don't know how I'm going to handle this. This may always be
complete. Anomaly found.
This may always be an exclave, basically. We'll have to see. Okay, and the pop-up I was ignoring in the corner there is apparently I raised a ship from a gas giant, and it's given me a new ship, so that's cool. Can we go and have a look at it? What kind of ship is it? Ooh, it's... Is that a... That's not a destroyer, is it? Where are my ships? That is... Not a destroyer? Can I turn this around? No, a destroyer's sleek. Well, it does have those tail fins at the back. Is it a different style? Ah, okay, it could be a different style. I don't think it's the biggest ship, is it? Oh, no, wait, it is. It's 3 stars. Oh my god, we have a cruiser. We haven't even invented cruisers. That's amazing. I don't know what to do with it. Do tell me what features it has. Tell me about the ship, Yes, ship details. Lasers, point defense, laser... Okay, actually it's just producing. It's got tons and tons of power. What kind of useless ship is this? It's got like 1 million power and nothing to use the power. Like, spare power is through the roof on this stupid thing. How silly. Okay, well... I'm actually going to send you to go and hang out with the cuckoo flock. Where are those guys? They're there. So yeah, you go and hang out with those guys, and you can form a sort of set of ships I've randomly inherited from places. Very nice, but slightly weird. And again, Isaki is president. At this point, I may as well just be a dictatorship because everybody loves her so much. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And it was as I feared, the Ro Asik have formed a nationalist army of unhappy monkey pops who don't like the fact that I raised them up to join the space community and become part of the Birb Commonwealth, which is kind of sad because us Burbs have a long history of picking ticks off the back of mammals like them. You think they'd be, you know, happy. They want to be independent. My options are to... Well, I don't think I can do much at all. Let's see what we can do in manage faction. We can offer them independence as a vassal, which is plausible actually. They wouldn't get in the way that way. They might still view me harshly, however, because of the fact that I'd be an overlord. We can suppress their media. It was going to cost me a lot of credits that I don't have, though. Or we could bribe their leaders, which will cost me credits I also don't have. Currently, they have... I can't quite tell how powerful they are. Is this 5% how powerful they are? Yes, I think it is. The current state they are in, these have all been misaligned somehow. The support... Ah, I see. The effects should be here and the action should be over here. Yes, okay. So yeah, they're currently at 5% trying to consolidate their support. If they reach 25, they'll strike. If they reach 50, they will riot. And if they reach 100, they will outright rebel. Worrying. Well, I don't think there's all that much I can do about it, unfortunately. Recently conquered is a penalty that I'm really quite surprised applies, but it will go away. They've changed their ethos as well. Their ethos is starting to drift. Some of them are becoming fanatic xenophobes. That's not good. Oh, please don't do that. You're not very nice. I don't like you. They all have the same traits otherwise, though. Yeah, they're all farmer, elephant farmers. Venerable agrarians. Yeah, there's not a lot I can do because, apart from recently conquered, which I think will go away, I could offer them voting rights, but it'll only give them 5% happiness. First Contact Protocol was peaceful, it's as low as it can get. Native Enlightenment, maybe they're a bit pissed off about that, but it's happened. And I guess they always have a 20% penalty for being alien overlords. That might be because they're xenophobic. I don't know. I could try to assign a governor, but none of the governors... Well, the only governor that would make them happy is the one that's governing Roost, actually. He has a bonus that gives him happiness. But I think they're already just too miserable. If we just quickly check, the happiness 0 is base 60, minus 25, 30, 35, 45... Yeah, they're currently at minus 7, really, but it minimises at 0. So I'd need to add at least 7% before I see anything good happen. Oh, great. Huh. Maybe I could build some infrastructure to help them? No, because it requires a planetary administration. Do they not have an administration? Primitive factory, primitive farms, power plant, primitive farms, primitive factory. Oh, okay, so we could actually build... If we find... Oh god, they've really mismanaged this planet. Why would you put a power plant on a food place? I guess because you need some food. How is their food situation? 0. Okay, we really need to get rid of these blockers, but I haven't had the tech come up to allow me to do that yet. So that's worrying. Okay, we'll just have to keep an eye on that situation and hope that the monkeys don't rebel. We'll see. Okay, something very strange has just happened. There was an anomaly. It involved some sort of transmission, and my scientists spent some time translating it. Finally, well met, Spacefarer. We are the Dathnak, and the planet you are orbiting is Tolok Rong, our ancestral home. It is always riveting to meet a solid, even if our last encounter with your kind was somewhat problematic. Okay, are we talking about shapeshifters or energy beings here? You have no doubt detected the radiation surges coming from our atmosphere. Tolok Rong is dying, and our species will perish unless we find a new home. We have identified a planet that would suit our physiology, but we have no means to get there. Sadly, our non-corporeal nature means we don't have as much in the way of industry or technology. Will you help us? That's interesting. First question's very good. If you have technology, how are we speaking? What happened to your planet? You want us to transport your entire species to the planet? We will help you relocate. Sorry, it would be too much of a hassle. I feel like I need to know more information, so how are we speaking? Ah, but you are not the first solid to pay us a visit. Another spacefarer graciously donated a small subspace transmitter and a scanner array to us 2.9 million solar cycles ago. Well, who knows how long that is, it depends on the sun that they're orbiting. They had been designed to be compatible with our physiology. One of the more positive encounters we've had with your kind. Good. What happened to your planet? Well, the last time solids visited us a few thousand cycles ago, things didn't go very well. They wanted us to embrace their religion. Oh god. We refused, and this triggered some kind of genocidal reaction. Completely unwarranted. Before we knew what was happening, they maneuvered a fleet into orbit and unleashed a massive bombardment. So, let me get this straight, you want us to transport you to another planet? Yes, and hopefully soon. Don't worry, there aren't too many of us. Most Dathnak died when our planet was bombarded, and those who survived retreated deeper into the atmosphere. Communication with the surface is difficult here, and the radiation is spreading. We don't have much time. Well, birds understand what happens when your home gets ruined. You have to go somewhere else. We're very pro-migration in Birb Commonwealth. So I think we will help you relocate.
Situation log updated.
Excellent, I knew we could count on you. The coordinates of our new home have been forwarded. Please don't be far away, please don't be far away. You must not promise to let your own colonists claim this alluring world before we get there, no matter how strong the temptation. That kind of implies that no one's already got there. So let's take a look. Is this the system? Oh. Shoal. There's a planet there they want to live on? Let's check our log. Dathnak relocation. We need a science ship. Shouldn't be a problem. Oh. Where is a science ship? No, what? No one's already there? Huh. I'm a little confused. Oh, is that where they want to go to? Ah, okay. So where is our nearest science ship? Where are you? You? Okay, you're very close. You're just looking at a derelict colony ship. Okay, so when you're finished... We'll have to finish the survey later. Finish researching that, and then go here and research this project. Hopefully it won't be too long on that. This is very important. We must help relocate these weird beings. Excellent. Science Officer Pidiknar has finished supervising the relocation of the Dathnak to their new home. A convoy of civilian freighters equipped with massive pressurized gas tanks ferried the gaseous beings, oh there's our answer then, across space and deposited them into the gas giant's atmosphere. Their ancient transmitter and scanner array were also brought along. Does that mean they're going to talk to us? I hope so. We are forever in your debt. This planet has exceeded our expectations. For the first time in generations, our young can frolic in the upper atmosphere without starting to glow. We have decided to call our new home Baldarak after your species. Huh? Okay, maybe that's their name for us or something. I can't understand how that's generated from our name. Both begin with B. Future generations of Dathnak shall always know the name of their saviours. You see, Baldarak, we are Birbs. I don't want to be rude to them. I'm sure it makes complete sense. So good luck with your new home. Thank you again, dear friend. May the atmospheric currents always keep you aloft. Oh, that's so sweet. And kind of relevant to birds as well. So does that mean that they exist? Do they? No? Oh, they've renamed the planet. It doesn't really tell me if anyone's living there, though. Well, that's cool. Got a planet renamed. That's not mine. Can't complain, really. Back to surveying the systems. Now you'll probably find something cool about them. Oh dear, international incident. The cooperative of Inak, who are our rivals, have declared war on the United Aramathi technocracy. This is worrying. They recently declared each other rivals, and I'd actually moved an embassy to try and make friends with the technocracy here. The idea being that they would hopefully join the alliance with Norilga and I against Inak. But I think Inak struck a bit too early for that. So now I'm slightly worried what's going to happen. I might just quickly chat to these guys and see if they want any help. We can't invite them when they're at war, that's a shame. Well, we might be able to offer them something useful. We could offer them a research agreement. Do they feel like a research agreement? No, they're sort of not too sure about us yet. Yeah, we need more time before the effects of our embassy come into play and they start to like us a bit more. Meanwhile, actually, let's just check out... Inak have an equivalent military to us, apparently. Well, that's good to know. But still, I'm a little worried. I ordered some ships to be built recently. How are they doing? Yes, I have some intermediate-sized ships here that I've basically made into... they basically carry two large weapons. They're really designed as, like, I guess, cannons against an enemy fleet. But I'm going to combine them with these guys.
Complete.
My main corvette unit, and then hopefully they can get together and... Oh, in fact, they've all finished, so that means we've got a nice sort of back line of heavy destroyers, and we have lots and lots of maneuverable corvettes in the front, so that's good.
System survey complete.
I feel confident that if a war broke out, we'd be okay. We have currently a massive backlog of minerals, so that wouldn't really be a problem. Which reminds me, I ought to start building more colony ships. But I will keep an eye on this because it does not look fun. Does not look fun. I think also I may end up building a military post in my closest planets to them. So in Semester, for instance, it would be a good idea to build a military post. Even though it's part of a sector, you are allowed to interfere to a certain extent and build stuff. So yeah, that's probably worthwhile. And once more, that's 3 times this episode, Isaki has been elected president. What a bird. What a bird. And war comes once again to the galaxy as the Zeltec Collective, who I met but really don't know very much about, have declared war on the Thek-Kalak Mandate, who I like because they had the same ethics as I did. So that's a bit of a shame. But so far in the other war, I don't know if it's finished yet, between red and orange here, nothing's really happened, so maybe they'll just be evenly matched. We'll have to see. I'll keep an eye on things. Recently I managed to finish the technology that expands your borders by 20%, and this has been exceptionally useful because now... Is that just in our territory? No, not quite, not quite. But it does mean that I've now actually encompassed a few more systems into our territory, which is very useful because I was running out of stuff to do with my construction ships. So that's nice. Otherwise, not a lot to report. Meanwhile, on the planet of the Wessari, the penalty we had for recently conquering them has worn off. Not only that, but some of their ethics have diverged, so these guys here are no longer xenophobic, which is fantastic. These guys are unfortunately extremely xenophobic, but these guys are not at all, and that is brilliant. What I want to do, ideally, is to build them a headquarters, but I really want to build it in this space, which is blocked, because if I do it anywhere else, it's basically useless at the start. But hey, you know what? Because you're so loyal, let's build you... Oh, I can't even build you a better farm. Can I build you better mines? Those of you who don't hate me too much. Oh, these guys have become spiritual. Well, at least they're not being so xenophobic. Okay, they're both xenophobic, but still, could be worse. Can I build you... I can build you a mineral silo. Well, that's rubbish, isn't it? No, I think you're going to have to wait, but well done for not being horrible and hating me permanently. Good job. Okay, wow, we just had an interesting encounter with an anomaly, which turned out to be somebody's alien spaceship with the crew still on board, and that has revealed 2 more alien empires to us. The Phoenicians and the Palarian Union. At least they're more pronounceable. These guys are relatively friendly, actually. Federation builders don't have any opposing things to us, although they are a monarchy, which is a bit strange. But apparently, yes, because we saved their crew, they very much like us. But they're a bit far away to interact with, to be honest. These guys I haven't spoken to. Oh my god. I haven't spoken to them yet, but they seem very nice. Xenophile and fanatic individualist. Yes, we agree with things. That's very cool. Good stuff. So far, most of the aliens we've met in this game have shared at least some ethics with us. I've only met like a couple who have opposing ones, and yeah, well, they're kind of... These guys are our rivals, and these guys are our rivals as a result of that, so I think the universe is in our favour.
Situation log updated.
And for the 4th time this episode, Isaki is elected president once more. Isaki's actually getting pretty old at this point, 84, so I'm really worried that when she dies, or he dies, I still don't know their gender, something terrible's going to happen and we're going to have an idiot in charge. But until then, very good, keep doing a good job, Isaki. You're very, very friendly and I like you. Friends, it is with great sadness that I announce that President Isaki has died at the age of 86. She, or he, led our people through troubling times as we launched into the galaxy, and has maintained a mandate to construct mining stations throughout her entire career. For her, it's always been mining stations, mining stations, mining stations. And construct them we have, for we have spread throughout the nearby stars, and our Commonwealth now stands as you see it before you, with the vile democratic Inari Confederacy against us, and our allies, the Norilga United Territories, and hopefully in the coming days, the United Aramathi Technocracy. Yes, we have researched many things. Gas clouds, unusual entities, crystallines, all sorts of things. But nothing can compare to the enigmatic smile of Wessari as she looked over the presidential papers for the last time before passing away quietly. So, I'd just like a moment's silence for Wessari. Thank you. This means that there's going to be an election, of course. And unfortunately for us, the lead candidate is this guy who wants to allow the Roasik to be independent. Now, this is a bit odd because if you look at my Empire policies, it says under leadership, primary species only. In fact, secondary species aren't even allowed to vote. So I don't understand why this guy's cropping up, to be honest. He will make science a bit better, I guess, which is quite nice. But unfortunately, I don't think I can have a member of the Nationalist Army, who I thought had quietened down, but they apparently haven't, be in charge of the country. By country, I mean the entire Space Empire. So we're going to have to support someone else. Thankfully, I've got a relatively good amount of influence stored up. So, who have we got? We have the governor of the Aerie sector. He is a food and defense kind of guy. He wants us to build research stations. Not too bad. The governor... Oh no, one of our scientists commanding. Isn't he pretty old? Yeah, he's 76. Goodness. He's also a bit of a food expert. Not third. He's also warlike, which I'm not going to be making terrible use of, although I have been building my military up a little bit out of fear of attack. Over in the Perch sector we have an investor. Ooh, that sounds very nice. 10% extra energy credits. And architectural sense is very good. Building cost reduced. Yedik here apparently isn't part of the Loyalists. I don't quite understand what the difference is between the Loyalist bloc, the Loyalist, I know who the Loyalists are, they're my main guys, and the Loyalist Fringe. One population on Scrape. Let's just quickly check Scrape. Does it mean that someone's changed? Oh, we've got some ethics divergence going on. We have some xenophobes. Everyone else is an individualist, but this guy is a xenophobe. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. We'll have to bear that in mind because I don't know how it affects the overall ethics of our empire if we try to back that person. So where's your support? Your support is on Scrape. Your support is on Aerie. Aerie's in one of my sectors. Yeah, okay, I'm going to have to go there manually. It looks like irritating. So Aerie is here, I think? Yes. So which population's gone wrong here? Is it another xenophobe? Yeah, it's another xenophobe. So my burbs are tending slightly towards xenophobia. Oh my god, it's like the election all over again. Yeah, so those are my options really. Slightly xenophobic people who are fortifying and resilient. Kirill. You're the original Kirill. Keeping it real. Researcher. That's a shame. You've reduced edict cost and you make better science. That's very nice. I don't understand what blue is. He just doesn't have a faction. But he's makes people happy. So he would be an ideal person to replace Wessari, except for the fact he's really old. And I would ideally like someone to lead the people for quite a long time. So there is Yitak here. It's a bit dangerous with his xenophobia. You're too old. You're not too old. I just don't really like your traits. And Hartrek here is also pretty damn old. Well, on the basis of age, I think we're going to have to try and hope it doesn't screw us up. We're going to have to try Biraki or Yitak. If we go for Yitak, we'll get some nice stuff. He's got energy credits and building cost. If we go for Biraki, we'll get food and fortification. Both of them have the same mandate. I I don't know what's going to happen if I start putting a xenophobe in charge, so... Oh god, he's a xenophobe as well. Oh, jeez. Both of the people I could get are xenophobes. Okay, well in that case we might need a temporary intermediate candidate to keep things going. So, Kirill, you're 84. Oh god, you're not going to live long, are you? Yidik, you're only 78. You're only 78 and you've got good traits, so I am going to support you for the presidency. And you better survive at least one term, or we'll have problems. Good, so now you're the favourite. Excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think on the death of Wessari, it's a good time to pause and reflect on how far we've come in this game. We've really reached the sort of... I don't know if this is the mid-game. It seems like we're going into the mid-game. We've now met many empires, although we're far from exploring the whole galaxy. We've barely done half of it. But we have at least discovered 2 empires down here through a communication, and we've also discovered these guys, the Imors tribes, who probably are very close to us here. I mean, I'm planning on building a frontier outpost just here, just to kind of head them off, grab some of these systems for myself. We've also seen our first war take place between the Arithmathi and the Inari, and there's another war going on up here, and fingers crossed I'm on the side of the Aramathi and the Thekklek, because I'd like them to join my federation, ideally. Well, we don't have a federation, we have an alliance with Norilga, but we could get them into a federation. Down here, not a lot's been happening, to be honest. These guys are allied and everything's kind of quiet. Technologically, we've developed the ability to colonize desert planets, but we haven't done that yet. We've been too busy. We've actually had to build new sectors, so we have a close sector here, governed from Perch, and we have a sector governed up here from Airy. This sector's kind of large, doing very well for itself. I'm maintaining the colonies on the ends of the Earth here, so this little outpost and these two, and I'm also looking after our home planet, of course. Wait, that's only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is the 5th one I'm governing? Oh, of course, so the system that contains the aliens. Yeah, so we have also uplifted the Wessari here, and in fact I've started to clear their planet of blockers, so they're sort of benefiting from me. Some of them have come to my side and stopped being xenophobic, but others are not exactly my biggest fans, so we'll see how that goes. I'd like to integrate them in the long run if possible, but they started off with quite different ethics. Our economy is very healthy. We have made a lot of money somehow. I don't really know how we've managed this. I sort of hammered away at various power technologies, and I reconstructed the home planet, for instance. So we're using up our 1 Betharian stone for an epic Betharian power plant here. I've also built a power hub to increase the power output of all power plants by 10%. So, well, this is also giving me 20% for another couple of months. So I'll have a bit less money after that's run out, because really that's giving me at least another 6 or so, I think, energy credits. But we're doing enough, and we're sort of low on things to colonize unless we go all the way out here, and I don't really want to build a set of outposts out here. So the short-term goals now are to get some more technologies to remove blockers and bring the Wessari on side as a result of that. Get some more technologies for colonizing planets other than desert, because I would like to colonize... Well, Regulus isn't that exciting, but I would like to try and colonize some of these planets that are just on the fringe of our empire. So we have an arid world there, an ocean world there. Arctic is a bit far away from us, but any of the ones that are sort of relatively close, I'd like to try and colonize. And yeah, I think in the long run, diplomatically, we're going to get rid of these guys. Don't know how that's going to happen, but I imagine if we can team up, then a nice little war might do it. But we Burbs don't encourage war. We merely take part if it happens to occur. Other than that, are there any exciting things going on? Well, in quests, I have an exciting quest to find lots of alien specimens, so I've got several of my science ships looking for those, which is fun. And I still have the mining targets quest, which I'm never going to do until I've discovered... Well, until I've really done everything else there is to do, because it's so bloomin' far away. Most of them are over here. And we're still looking for one more artifact of our precursor Civ, which would be nice to find because I feel I'm really excited to find out what the storyline is for that one. Otherwise, we've had a few interesting events, nothing dramatic, and I think we're doing pretty well. So I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been a bit of a slow episode. I don't know how long it's going to end up once I edit it down, but it's taken me on the order of 3 hours to play enough of the game, because we really are into that stage where there's not much to explain, and I don't really want to spam you with constant clips of me making decisions about what technology to discover or something like that. I think it's more interesting if I just show you the highlights. So I haven't looked at every anomaly, and I haven't looked at every single technology decision either, but I've done the interesting ones, and I have also done the interesting colonization events and so on. Sadly, there's not been much combat. I think I fought some crystal entities, and that was about it. And I didn't bother capturing that because we've seen it before. So we'll see how this goes. If people are still interested, I'll carry on playing. But otherwise, I understand completely if Stellaris has tired you out by now. I still like playing it. I really want to get through to the end of this game, but I think maybe it's sort of lacking the continued activity of another Paradox game. So if you play EU4, for instance, or Crusader Kings, there's quite a lot of stuff happening, and lots of events, and the wars are a lot more visceral. Here, because war is not really necessary for expansion, at least for a long time, there's not a lot going on in terms of ship movements and so on. So it's not quite the same thing. Plus, I don't think you can really see them at a distance. So if I'm zoomed out like this, I'm not sure whether you can see battles taking place or not, whether the stats come up. So yeah, I think maybe... Well, there's a few things I'd like to change about the interface actually in this game as well, but I think I'll save that for discussion another time. I'm sure it's been covered by other people, but there's just one or two little nitpicks that I think could be done better, and they're really minor things, but they would make a large number of quality of life. I mean, it would make a big impact on my quality of life when I'm playing the game. Anyway, that's all for now. I've been Chris. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.